Hi, I'm Dr. Jason J. Campbell, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. In today's video, I'm going to continue my analysis of Ayn Rand's Objectivist Epistemology. I began the discussion in the first 6 or 7 videos, first part of the series, just giving an introduction to her analysis. I'm going to continue and finish Chapter 1 in this series, and then we'll move on to Chapter 2. Primarily, what I want to do is, first I want to let you know that the notes that I'll be using in this discussion are available to you. Basically, just click on the banner when it pops up, or click the description box, and it'll take you to the PDF. You can download the PDF, follow along in the lecture, and that will just add more to the discussion. The analysis is coming from this book. The analysis is coming from Ayn Rand's Introduction to Objectivist Epistemology. My analysis is going to be exclusively on her epistemology, and I want to continue and complete Chapter 1 in this lecture. This lecture is specifically titled Chapter 1, Section 2, 1.2 in the notes. Okay, so this is Ayn Rand's So this is Ayn Rand's Objectivist Epistemology. Okay, in this account of Ayn Rand, she begins, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about primarily 2 things, right? We're going to talk about unit classification and concept formation, right? We know that in a discussion of consciousness for Rand, we go through 3 stages of consciousness. At a very, very introductory level, we have consciousness as grounded in sensation. That grounding in sensation gives us the recognition of an entity, right? So sensation leads to entity recognition. We move from sensation to perception, and it's in perception for Rand as a second stage that we get to identity. We transition from entity recognition to identification. This, that, so on and so forth. And then at the highest level, Rand talks about concept formation. What I'm going to emphasize, not I, but what she emphasizes in this section is the latter 2, right? Unit recognition and concept formation and the relationship between the 2. Primarily this analysis, Rand's analysis, is indebted to Aristotle, a lot of which comes from Aristotle's refutation of Plato's forms. Plato roughly believes that the forms exist somewhere out there. Aristotle says the forms exist within the world. So for example, when we're talking about chairs, the form chairness, C-H-A-I-R-N-E-S-S, the things that make all things chairs that are chairs, despite the fact that this chair has 3 legs and this chair has 2 legs and this chair has 4 legs, what makes them all chairs doesn't exist transcendentally, it exists in the form, right? Because for Aristotle, form equals function. Though Rand, I keep on saying Arendt, though Rand doesn't say that form equals function, she is an Aristotelian. Insofar as she is an Aristotelian, her epistemology is Aristotelian in a sense. There's obvious differences. She contributed a vast amount of original thought in her formulation, a lot of which is, or some of which is indebted to Aristotle, and what's absolutely, unequivocally, undeniably indebted to Aristotle is the concept that form equals function. For her, we can talk about form, which she classifies as unit, and determine what the unit is, or the form is, by realizing that it helps in the concept formation. So this is me now, this is not in Rand. Form equals her concept of unit. And since form equals unit and form equals function, then unit equals function. Right? So for Rand, form equals unit equals function, right? You wouldn't know this because she doesn't explain this in her epistemology, but you recognize, if you've studied philosophy as long as I have, that she is indebted, when she's augmenting Aristotle's form-function relationship, and what she does is she recognizes that the function of a thing what a thing is, how a thing is identified, how it's measured, to be technical, to use her terms, creates a system of classification. And this system of classification is indebted to the function of the thing. So, just that preliminary remark, and now I'll begin.